Hello and welcome to Tuesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and today we've got a brand new puzzle, literally brand new, by SudokuExplorer. In fact, this was published this morning at 1 AM UK time, so no one can accuse us of not being current. Why am I doing this puzzle today, you may be asking yourself? Well, it's because I'm mad. The real reason is that two of you have requested this puzzle already, and I went over to Logic Masters Germany because I just was intrigued to see what all the fuss was about, and I read the rule set, and it sounds bizarre and amazing to me. And what better reason is there for doing a puzzle than you want to do it? So that's why this one is what I'm going to attempt for you. I have no idea how difficult it is. It's not been tested by anybody I know. So if it doesn't work out, you'll never see this video. And that will be that. Now, before I read you the rules, a couple of things to mention. Over on Patreon at the moment, we've got our Groundhog Day Sudokus. Over 300 of you have correctly solved them, so very well done. And we're going to, on Valentine's Day, we're going to say thank you to all of you who are patrons by releasing this new Sudoku challenge by Scott Strossal, which is quite a stiff challenge. And then that's in preparation for releasing a big Sudoku hunt at the start of March. So there is a lot going on at the moment. No, and I should in fact mention, if I get a chance, I'm going to have a look at Dave Gorman, the brilliant comedian's new cryptic crossword, which I know has been released in the Independent newspaper today. If I get a chance, I'll record a solve of that. And this evening, Mark and I are speaking to no less than Tan Tan Dai, the best female solver that there has ever been in the history of Sudoku. So we're really looking forward to that, and I hope, if technology allows, I will be able to show you that video, or some bits of it anyway, in the coming days. So, with all that said, let's get on to this puzzle, and let me read you this extraordinary rule set. Normal Sudoku rules apply. In cages, digits must sum to the small clue in the top left corner of the cage, and digits cannot repeat within a cage. So completely standard killer Sudoku rules, which means those squares here, these have to add up to 31, and you can't repeat a digit. So this, whatever goes in that square, you can't have it repeating in any of those cells. Now, I love the next part of the rules here. Cages are subject to Norinori colouring. Norinori colouring. Surely you're all familiar with that. In fact, I think I have seen Norinori as a pencil puzzle before on Nicoli, before it defunct. And the thing is, I cannot remember ever doing a Norinori puzzle. I think I just didn't do them because I didn't like them for some reason. But anyway, these are the rules of Norinori colouring. Let me read them to you. We have got to shade exactly 2 cells in each cage. Shade exactly 2 cells in each cage. Each shaded cell is orthogonally adjacent to exactly one other shaded cell, which means we basically have to create dominoes in the grid. And each shaded cell contains an odd digit. That's it. That's all we get given. And apparently we're able to turn this grid into a unique Sudoku, which is really incredible. Now, luckily, I found on Nicoli this, which is an example Norinori puzzle. So if we just stare at this for a moment, we might understand those rules a bit more clearly. So this is the starting position, and you can see that because we need to shade 2 cells in each region, we've got to shade this one, and we've got to shade both of those squares. Now, once we've done that, you can't, for example, shade this cell, because if you shade this cell, that's no longer a domino, that's a triomino. So you can't shade there, you can't shade here, you can't shade here, here, or here, and that's what these dots are representing in the middle diagram. Now, that means that in this region, we still have 2 more shades to do, so that we've got to have a shade and a shade there. Now, this one can't be in, or we'd create a triomino again. But we know each shaded cell must be in a domino relationship. So you can see that forces that one, it forces this one. This region needs a second shaded cell, which has got to be there, and that finishes the puzzle with this configuration here, just done slightly more messily by me. But hopefully that's fairly clear in terms of what's going on. I have no idea whether it's going to be clear when we try the Sudoku, but this is our task for today. So do have a go. The way to play, of course, is to click the link under the video as usual. Now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Okay, so we've got a 31 cage and a 30 cage bridging the top row of the Sudoku, and that allows me to tell you a secret. What do those cells add up to? Well, we know this is a complete row of the Sudoku, so add up, it'll contain all of the digits from 1 to 9, therefore. So if we add up the digits 1 to 9, the yellow cells will have to contain or add up to 45. But we know that those cells together add up to 30 plus 31, they add up to 61. Ergo, those three squares add up to 16. 61 minus 45, and that is useless. Okay. This is a 7-cell cage. So if it was a 9-cell cage, because all of the digits in it would have to be different, it would add up to 45. So as a 7-cell cage, it's missing 2 digits that add up to 14, which means it's either missing 5 and 9 or 6 and 8. Which may also be useless, I think. Okay, sorry about this. Let's try and find somewhere we can start. All of the other cages, a quick scan reveals to me that these are not useful cage totals. I'm never surprised by that anymore. So maybe... Hang on, what rules have I got today? I've got Killer Sudoku, I've got the Norinori rules. Do I have to start with Norinori rules, do I? Okay. How do I do that? So each cage contains 2 shaded digits, but it doesn't mean that they're both in the cage. You could have a shaded digit here that goes like that and creates a domino. Oh, right, okay, well, hang on, the 17 cage here. That's got 3 cells, and we know it must have 2 shaded cells, and we know the 2 shaded cells are odd. So this box contains 3 odd digits. That's what we know, because 2 odd digits add up to an even number, and last time I checked, 17 was not even. So maybe that's what I've got to do, is sort of do parity on this. 23 is, well, it's not quite the same as 17, but it's still, we know that there are 2 cells in this that are Norinori compliant, so they are odd digits. They must add to an even number, and I still need to get the overall total to an odd number. So this cage has 3 odd numbers in it. So in fact, now I'm just wondering whether we can, maybe, if we look at the bottom 4 rows of this grid, we know that there should be 20 odd numbers in the bottom 4 rows, because each row individually will have 5 odd numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. So if I've got 3 in here and 3 in here, 31 has got 3 in it as well. That's interesting. Let's look at the 31 cage, because this also sums to an odd number. So we know 2 of its cells are odd, and therefore either 1 more cell is odd or 3 more cells are odd. Now if 3 more cells are odd and all 5 cells in this cage are odd, they don't add up to 31, because they should add up to 25. 9 plus 7 plus 5 plus 3 plus 1 is 25. So this cage has 3 odd numbers as well. So these 3 cages together all have 3 odd numbers. That's 9 odd numbers. This cage should have a minimum of 2 odd numbers. This cage has an even total, so we can't use parity quite as cleverly on that. That's got to have at least 2 odd numbers as well, just for the Norinori. This is 2 odd numbers for the Norinori. This is 2 odd numbers for the Norinori. So sorry, I've lost count now. 3 here, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So the yellow squares contain a minimum of 17, and I need to get to 20. So, bobbins, that's not going to work. There must be 1 in those 3, but there doesn't need to be 2. So that's 18. A minimum of 18 in the yellows, but this isn't tightly packed enough. I can't tell anything really. Okay, right. Okay, this is weird. So how do you start the puzzle? I have a feeling you've got to be better at Norinori than I am. There's probably tricks you can do with Norinori shapes that I'm not aware of. It's not going to be very pleasant to have to invent them on the fly. So the most restricted cages in this grid are these 2. These are both 3-cell cages. These have got to contain between them 4 Norinori cells. And this one actually has to have 3 odd numbers in it as well. Okay, right. Got something. I've got something. Have I got something? Yeah, I have got something. This square can't be Norinori. Because if it's Norinori, I'll have to find a colour for Norinori. Grey. Grey can be Norinori. If it's Norinori, if somebody was listening to this and they didn't know what I was doing, they would think I was an absolute idiot, which maybe you think anyway, but I do try not to be. If this is Norinori, then because there's a second Norinori in the 17 cage, one of these will be Norinori as well, and that will create a domino. But we know, therefore, that we can't create a triomino, so those 2 squares could not be Norinori, and you could only put 1 Norinori in this square. So there is at least we have a deduction. Where you have a 3x1 next to another 3x1, the middle cells cannot be Norinori. So I need a colour that's not, I'll use green. Green is not Norinori. So that means I get Norinoris in those, which means I can eliminate Norinori in the orthogonally connected cells. Oh, and I was about to say that means this square, because I know there are 3 odd numbers in the 23 cage, but actually this square here, although it's not Norinori, it could still be odd. So I can't just highlight these and make them odd digits. Oh, this is so strange. So actually, I'm now wondering whether I need to keep track of the fact that this cell is definitely... I know these 2 cells are odd because they're Norinori, but that cell is also odd, and I didn't know that. Well, I do know it, but if I don't colour it, I won't remember it. Right. This is going to be a very challenging solve today. Now, so I've now got 2 Norinori shapes. I can do something with this shape. If this shape is green, or this cell is green, these 2 would have to be the Norinoris, and this cell can't take a domino, because it can't take that square because it'll touch its friends and it won't be a domino anymore. So that square is Norinori. Right, okay, I can keep this going now, because the second Norinori in the 23 cage has to either be here or here, and it will create a domino. That means those two squares cannot be Norinori, or you'll create a triomino. I'm sure there's something we can do with this. We know that two of these three squares are Norinori. Yeah, here's a simple deduction we can make with this. So, what are the options? We could have those two. That would be one Norinori shape. We could have these two. That would be a second Norinori shape. The only other Norinori shape that's possible is those two. But in all three of those situations, this square cannot be Norinori. If it's these two that are Norinori and we make that Norinori, we've not got a domino. That doesn't work. And if we've got those two as Norinori, neither of those can be Norinori, so this still can't be Norinori. And obviously if these are Norinori, that can't be Norinori. Nori. There we go. So that square is not Norinori. Right. Okay. Good. Concentrate. Okay. Right, I can go further with the 23. If this is Norinori, surely that's going to break this one. Because if that's Norinori, those two can't be Norinori, and that means this square, let me show you, this square has to be Norinori, and it's not got a friend. So we can't do that. So this square is not Norinori, and this one is Norinori. Now, what does this mean? This means that we have to maybe we've got to try and eke ourselves out this way. Not sure. Let's look at this. So, oh, this is the same as that. Ah, okay, so here's an interesting thing. Where you have a 2 by 2, where you've got to put two Norinoris in like a triomino like that, this square can never be Norinori, because if it's Norinori, you break this cage. Because however we assemble the two Norinoris in it, we will always create a triomino. So this square is green. Oh yeah, look, this is clever actually. This keeps going. So we've got the same thing there. I've got to put two Norinoris in here, so I can't put a Norinori in there. And that's going to... Oh, this is gorgeous. So now this triomino here, I can't make this a Norinori. And that means... Does this keep going, or am I going crazy? Have I not understood something here? I have a feeling that this is going too well. I'm just going to double check the logic. Sorry. If that's Norinori, yeah, it is good logic. It is. It feels like it's good logic. So that's green. But now I've got the same thing here. So this has to be green. But then I get the same thing here. So this has to be green. So I get a whole flurry of... I mean, it's not digits or anything, but it felt like it was quite handy. Okay, now look at the 16. If you make this domino Norinori, you can't put two Norinoris in this. So that must be Norinori, and we get another Norinori cell. Okay. I'm sure, again, look at all these sort of triples coming down here. There's probably a trick you can do that tells you how that's orientated. Okay. So I'm looking at this, and I'm trying to work out how it interacts with this, because 3 of these 5 cells have to be Norinori without creating problems for each other. So this can't be Norinori, because if that's Norinori, now this can't be, this would have to be, and this would have to be, and we get a triomino. So this is not. That means we get 2 Norinoris there. We get, oh, look, this Norinori is trapped, so it's got to come out, which means those 3 are not Norinori. Beautiful. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Look, this can't come down, because now I can't put a second Norinori in here. I can make this a Norinori, but it can't be a domino. So it doesn't come down. That means that is a Norinori. That means this is a Norinori. That's not a Norinori. This is a Norinori. And those are not Norinori. Good. Now, what next? We're flying along. We've coloured some of the grid. We have got... I'll tell you one thing I better keep track of, actually. Look, because in this column, for example, I've got 4... I've definitely got 4 odd digits already. So these 2... So this domino at the top... Ah, yeah, this is perfect. This domino cannot be a Norinori domino, because that will put 6 odd digits in the column, and there are only 5. Now, if this square is therefore Norinori, it couldn't take this one. It would have to take that one. But that puts 3 Norinoris in this shape. So this one is just not Norinori, which means this one is Norinori. Now, what does that mean? That means that I've really not got a clue what that means, I have to say. I've still got to put, I've got a 3 by 3 here, look. I've got to put a second Norinori in there somewhere. I've got to put 2 Norinoris in this one. Oh, I know what I can do. This square now can't be Norinori because it would have to take a friend and it would create a triomino. See, if you were good at Norinori, you would do that immediately. Sorry about that. I'm obviously not good at it. Right, okay, so now this can't. If that's Norinori... Oh no, I could put one there. Oh, goodness. Okay. Right. So how do we carry on with this logic? Oh no, that's okay. Oh, in the 26, I can't separate the Norinoris now because they can't have friends, so this square must be grey. And its friend is definitely in the 26, so this is not Norinori. Oh, see, this is easy stuff once I get my head round it. Now, and look at this, this burns up the grid with Norinoris. Now I've got this 2 by 2 thing again here, so that means this one can't be Norinori because it will cause a triomino there, not Norinori. Now, let's take a check on parity again. Have we got any rows and columns that are really congested? Not sure. This one, hang on. This one here, this one, if that was Norinori, it would cause a problem in these 3 squares, so that's green. Green, of course, means it could still be odd. I've got to remember that as well. How on earth? I mean, I'm just thinking about this as well. Once you've got, even if I tile the whole grid with Norinori, how does that actually help me solve it? That's a good question, isn't it? Right, okay, come on. This cell is totally isolated, so that's not Norinori. Ah, so maybe I can do... Yes, now I could get somewhere with this. I've got to put a second Norinori in the 3x3. If it goes there, it'll create a triomino. So it doesn't go there, it goes here, and that gives me some more greens. In fact, look, that fixes the 30. Now that must not be... Now that fixes this one. Come on, keep going. So now we've got a lot of the grid done. And apparently there's a way of fixing this left-hand side. So how do we fix the left-hand side? Actually, discount the parity again. No, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing any rows or columns that have loads and loads of greys in them. So there must be an orientation of these three that's problematic, probably with this one. So if those are in, let's just take a look at that. If these two are in, does that break anything? Yeah, it does actually. That does break something, look. Because now, the only two places, let me show you fully, the only two places to put Norinori in the L region are those two. And you can put a Norinori here, but now I need to put another cell, another Norinori cell in the 31, but I can only put one in the 31 because I've already got one in there. So that's not possible, which means this domino isn't possible, which means this domino, well, it means this cell is Norinori. So one of these is Norinori, and that will create 5. Yeah, doesn't that create 5 odds in this column? So whichever one of these happens to be odd, it joins 1, 2, 3 odd numbers there and creates a column of, well, creates the 5 odds in the column, which means those two and those are all even. I haven't got a colour, I'm going to use blue. So blue is even, O for orange is odd, and grey is Norinori, which means it's also odd. These can't be Norinori, remember that. Actually, as I worry about how to do this puzzle now, how am I going to do it? I think this is something I just need to pause and think about. Even if I get all of this tiled, how do I solve the puzzle? I've got to be able to use a restriction that the Norinoris have put on the cages. Can anyone tell me what that is? The 16 cage has got 2 odd digits in it. They add up to an even number. So these two cells have the same parity. They're either both even or both odd. They can't both be odd because that will create 6 odds in the column. These two therefore are blue. So this box now, we've got a 20 cage which has got 2 odds in it. So these two have the same parity. Yeah, okay, let's keep going with this. You can't make those both odd either because that will create 6 odds in the box. So these two are both blue as well. Yeah, okay, this feels better. I feel like I'm almost going to abandon the Norinori, if you'll forgive me. and work on parity down here. At least I feel I can do this. So I now know that this domino is made up of one even and one odd, I think. Yeah, one even and one odd. But I don't know which one is the odd one. Or do I? No, I don't know that. No. Well, I know something. I've remembered something. The 31 had a third odd digit in it. I don't know where it goes. I know these are Norinori, so they're odd. But there were 3 odd numbers in my 31. So the other odd is one of those 3. So that creates 5 odd numbers in this box, which means both of these here are even. Oh, this is lovely. So if both of these are even, they can't be Norinori. And this Norinori needs a friend, so its Norinori friend lives here. And that means that square is even. Now, look, now I've got 5 odds in row 8, so these 2 squares turn even. And I've got 4 evens in row 9, so that must be odd. That means it's orange. Okay. This is all getting really I'm getting a bit colorblind here, but I think it's true to say I've got 5 odd digits in box 7. I've got 3 Norinoris and 2 oranges. That's enough, so those 2 must be even. Which means this square is odd, because we know the 23 had 3 odds in it. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's nearly good, but not quite. So this is really complicated. So, how do we make more progress here? I've still got to put one more odd digit. Oh, so one of these is odd and one of these is even. But I don't know which way round. 5. I've got 1, 2, 3 here. That's absolutely hopeless. If this was odd, I would have my odds for this column. So I think I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure whether I'm meant to do Norinori here, or I'm meant to do parity, or I'm meant to do something else. And forgive me if you're just looking at this knowing what to do. I respect you immensely if that's the case. This is not straightforward to me, at least, at all. Really, I've got a shape here that I need to put 2 Norinoris into. Okay, so I can do something with this, because this can't be a lone Norinori. If I do Norinoris in those 2, this is isolated. So that doesn't work, so this is always Norinori. And we know its Norinori friend is in its box, so it's not here. Which means what? Is that enough? Is that enough for me somehow to crack this? So now if this domino is Norinori, yeah, if this domino is Norinori, I can't put 2 Norinoris that are domino connected in the 31 cage. Let's just double check that, but it looks right to me. Where am I going to... two of these three have to be Norinori without creating a triomino. It doesn't work. It does not work. Right. So this is Norinori, which means this is not Norinori, or it creates a triomino. That's Norinori. This must be Norinori. Therefore, these are not Norinori. This is Norinori. This is Norinori. This is Norinori. And I think we have Norinori'd the grid. I think we have. And I can see that I have 5 odd digits in column 1. So those two become even. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's even as well. We've got 5 odd digits in box 2 here. 2. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can keep going with this. I've got 5 now in box 1, I'm seeing. Good grief. Okay, keep going. Now, yes, I've got 5 in row 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of these are even. Come on. Oh dear. Okay. Not sure how. I presume I can resolve that down there somehow. I just don't know how to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on. Sorry, how long have I had? Only 36 minutes. Oh, that's not too bad. This feels really tough, this puzzle, so I'm not embarrassed about that. 1. Oh, I know what I might... Oh, this is gorgeous. Yes, yes. The 31 and the 30 cage, I looked at these right at the start. These 3 cells, the cells that stick out of row 1, had to add up to 16. And that is now even, which means these two squares have the same parity. Now, they can't both be odd, or I'd have 4 plus 2. I'd have 6 odds in the row. So these are both even, and they are blue. Oh, come on. You're kidding me. I thought that would be like a great deduction that would really help me. But no. Satan laughs in my face again. Okay. Okay. So what next? This, can we get something from this? We've got 3 evens at the moment. 1, 2. Yeah, we can actually. This is an odd number. So this needs to have an odd number of odd digits in it. So this domino here is 1 even and 1 odd. Which is, I don't think we know which way round it goes. This is 1 of each. I'll try and remember that. This is 1. Oh, no, hang on. If it's 1 of each, it helps me with row 1, though. If this is 1 of each, these two have to be both even, because I've completed the odds, given 1 of these is odd. So now this domino, look, completes column 9 with 1 odd and 1 even. Now, once this is 1 of each, that's the evens done for this box, so this square has to be odd. That completes column 7, therefore this square has to be even. One, 2, 3, 4. Bother. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing. Oh, come on. This is 1 of each. Is this 1 of each? Do I know that this is 1 of each, or do I not know? I don't know if I've looked at this domino here or not. Or this square. Do we know anything about this square? 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I've had another idea actually. I've just caught, this has just caught my eye. The 3 by 3. That must have 4 evens in it somewhere. I've only got 1 so far, because the 3 by 3 must contain all of the digits from 1 to 9. In fact, that might be cleverer. Let's look at the columns that overlap with the 3 by 3, and so in those columns we should have 4 even digits per column, which is 12 even digits altogether. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, okay. At the moment, before you consider this box, there are 8 even digits in these columns. So once we add in the 4 even digits in the 3 by 3, there will be 12 even digits, and that's enough. That means anything else in this column, which means in column 6, this square and this square are both odd. Now, please let that fix it. Yes, that fixes this. We've now got 5 odds in row 7. That becomes even. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've now got 5 odds in this row. That becomes even. That's huge. That means this becomes odd. 1, 2, yes, 3, 4, 5. These two both become even. I've now got all my evens in column 4. That becomes odd. This becomes even. And now I've just got these dominoes to do. Now, hang on. Can we use the... How do we fix this? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. This is one of each. This is one of each. And this is one of each. And in the row, oh no, okay, but, no, this is no good. I don't think we can disambiguate this. So these cells might have to stay green for a bit longer, I'm afraid. Now, okay, I mean, this puzzle is amazing. It's amazing, but it is still impossible. I've done Norinori. I've done parity. I've still not got a single pencil mark digit in the grid. So now I've got to do digits. How do I do digits from here? I must be able to do something with the cage totals that I have not anticipated. And that thing is going to be what exactly? Oh dear, I have not got a clue. Oh, no, I have got a clue. Sorry, I have got a clue. These 3 even digits sum to 16, don't they? So they must be 6, 8, and 2. That's the only way 3 even digits can sum to 16. Which means that square, I've got a digit, that's a 4. Hooray! Actually, here's another thing that means. One of these two squares must be a 6 or an 8, or both of them could be 6 and 8. But that means the 31 cage, which is missing either 6 and 8 or 5 and 9, can't be missing 6 and 8 because one of these two squares at least must be a 6 or an 8. So the 31 cage is missing 5 and 9, which means the 30 cage has got a 5 and a 9 in it. And I can place the 5 and the 9 in the 30 cage because 5 and 9 last time I checked are not even. This is a 5-9 pair. That means those 3 squares have got to be 1, 3 and 7 because we know these are the other odd digits. This is probably completely not what you're meant to do, but at least... Let's just check the maths is working. Oh yeah, the maths is working, of course. The 30 cage has now got 14 in odd digits, and those are going to add to 16, because the 4 is not one of them, which is going to get to the right total. So, okay, 4 is looking at the 16 cage. There's no 4 in the 16 cage. There's exactly 2 even digits. So there must be a 2. There must be a 2 in there, otherwise it won't work. So there's a 2 and one more even digit from 6 and 8. Am I supposed to be able to know which one that is? If it was 2 and 8, I'd need 1 and 5 with it. If it's 2 and 6, I need 1 and 7 or 3 and 5. I don't think that is resolvable. So, okay. Well, I mean, it must be something to do with the cage totals that we have. That must be the way in, because we've done everything else. $17 here means those two squares are these two squares are the other odd digits in the row, so they must add up to 8, because we know that all of the odd digits add up to 25. So these are either 1, 7 or 3, 5. Oh, okay. Well, that's something, isn't it? Because yeah, that is something, because if these add up to 8 and I need these 3 squares, look, are all blue. I mean, they're not blue now, but they're blue if I don't highlight the cells. This one, and this one are all blue, so they're all even, and they've got to add up to 18. So they've got to be 4, 6 and 8. Uh, 4, 6, 8. 4, 6, 8. So now there's definitely a 2 in the 31 cage, because one of these two squares has to be 2, because these two are not. Oh, no, this is lovely. Aha, I see what you've done here, Mr. SudokuExplorer. This 26 cage is rather beautiful, because every cell in it, well, the even cells in it, look at that cell. This cell sees whatever is in that square, and it sees those two squares in its box. So this square can't be 4, 6 or 8, and is 2. And oh, lovely. Look, now the 31 cage. These 4 squares have got to add up to 29, so I know what they are. They've got to be 5, 7, 8 and 9. And there's only one even digit, which is the 8. So that's 8, which means this is 8 by Sudoku, because these can't be 8 anymore. And I've actually got somewhere. Now, oh, Sudoku, 8, 8, that's got to be an 8, because it's even. This has got to be a 2, because it's the last even in the row. This is not 2, so the 2 goes up here. This, look, the 2's up there, that's a 2. This square is not 2 or 8, it's 6. I'm actually getting somewhere. This is extremely exciting. This is an 8, just to complete the... This is an 8. Oh no, hang on, whoopsie, that might be an error. I was getting excited then, but I forgot that greens could... Well, the greens in fact do include an even number in one of those. This has got to be a 4. That one is not controversial. So 4 goes here, 6 goes here, 2 goes here, just completing these even digits. Look, this is a 4, 6 pair. Now what? Come on. These are a 4, 6 pair as well. This 2 sees that square, so that's an 8. That means this is a 2. It's got to be a 2 in one of those cells. 4, 6. Ah, where does 2 go now? in box 2. It can only go there. So 2 is definitely in the green domino. This square is a 4 or a 6. And this square is a 4 or a 6. And by Sudoku, oh no, I was about to say this is an 8, but it's not, because we don't know where the 8 goes there. Bobbins. This square is a 6 or an 8. Okay. 8. Oh, 8 in box 1 can't go there, so must go here. Which means this square is a 4 or a 6. Where does 8 go in box 4? It can only go in this cell. Does that help me? It might do. I'm not sure actually. This square's 4 or 6. I must be right on the cusp, I think, of figuring out these green dominoes somehow. Yeah, this 4 gives me that cell as a 6. That's a 6, that's a 4. That 6 sees that one. That becomes a 6, that becomes a 4. That becomes a 6, this becomes a 6, this becomes a 4. Come on. This is a 6 now. That means that's an 8. 8 by Sudoku goes here. I'm just going to double check that. 8 by Sudoku does go there. Therefore, it's no longer qualified as green. It becomes blue. That's the 4 blues in column 6. So this becomes orange. I still need to put a 6, look. Yeah, 6 by Sudoku goes here. So this becomes blue and this becomes orange. 1, 2. I've now, oh, look, I've got 4 blues in row 4. So this becomes a 2. Therefore, this needs to be a 2. This should be a 4. This needs to be blue and that needs to be orange and not 2. And I think we've fully... Every box in the Sudoku has 4 digits in it. 4 even digits, apart from that one, which has it now. Oh, I might be able to get through this. I shouldn't have said that. I don't know why I said that. That's so dumb. Ah, dear, dear, dear. Right, let's see. How do we finish this off? Oh, 2 4 cage in a 20. So these two have to be... They're odd, adding up to 14, so they're 5 and 9. That means that's not 5. These were adding up to 8, weren't they? So this is no longer 3. These squares are 1, 3, or 7. Oh, the 16 cage. So it's got 8 in it. These two add up to 8. So this is 1, 7, or 5. There must be, look, there must be a 9 in the 17 cage now. There's also a 9 in the 31 cage. The 23 cage has got a 6 in it now for its sins. So what does that mean? It needs three odd cells that add up to 17. So it's got a 9 in it. Okay, it's either 917 or 935. It's the same as this one actually. This is 917 or 935. So there's a lot of 917s, 3s and 5s going on, which is not surprising because these are all odd digits. And I've just listed all of the valid odd digits. I am aware, I'm sorry. Oh dear. But this, how do you do this? Because something has got to disambiguate the odd digits. 5 of these have got to be 1, 3 and 7. If this solves in a nice way, this is one of the great puzzles. It really is breathtakingly clever. But, well, let me caveat that slightly. Obviously, it might well solve in a nice way, but it might be a way I fail to spot, which would be incredibly disappointing. I might give it to Tan Tan Dai later. Yeah, got something. Column 5 has 2 odd digits here, but neither of these digits can be 1 or 3. So in this column, the 1 and the 3 go in these 3 squares. That means they don't go in this square. Where do 1 and 3 go in column 6 then? Not here, and not here, apparently. Which means this cell and this cell are the only cells in column 6 that could contain the digits 1 and 3. Now this square is interesting a little bit, but this square doesn't seem to be able to be a 3. Because if it's a 3, it would need a 5 here, and they can't put a 5 here. So this is a 1, and we have a digit. Well, we have an odd digit. Which means that must be the 3. So that's not 3. These had to add up to 8, didn't they? So that means this is a 7. So these are not 7 anymore. This is not 1. 7. Oh, come on. This feels enormously important. 3, 5, 9 into those squares. 5, 7, 9 into this square. Oh no, I see. Look, we've got a 3 in the... Oh yeah, look at this 3. This is so lovely. We've got a 3 in the 3 by 3. We can't have another 3 in it. So that means there's... So you go from locking the 3 into one of these positions, locks the 3 in column 6, which locks the 3 in column 7. You can only put a 3 here. You can't repeat it in the cage, and these two are ruled out. So it goes there, I think. This fixes it in column 8 because this is a cage. You can't repeat a digit in a cage. This has become a 1. That must be a 3. Does this do the puzzle for us? Maybe. Yeah, look, 3 and 3 here. You can't repeat 3 in the 3 by 3, so that becomes a 3. We need to put a 3 in one of those squares, so this becomes a 3. This is no longer a 3. I have spotted that I can disambiguate this cage. I'm just looking at other things at the moment. So 1 has to be in one of those two cells, I think. This 16 cage now needs a 5 to make it work. So that's a 5. That fixes the 5 and the 9 at the bottom. So these two squares are a 1-7 pair to complete the column. And these two squares, look, are a 7-9 pair to complete this column instead. Which might mean something very important, but I don't know yet what it is. 3 has to be in one of those two positions. 7, 9, 3. This square here has got to be... this square here can only be 1 or 9, actually, because the 7 is not available. Oh, I tell you what, look, I'll come back to the 3 by 3 again. I've got a 7-9 pair in it. So this square can't be a 9. I think it has to be a 1. Which means this square must be a 1 by Sudoku. That fixes the 7. That fixes the 7 and the 9. I don't believe this. This must be a 5. It looks... I'm guessing the 5, by the way, from this 3 by 3 sitting in the grid. But I think that looks okay, doesn't it? That gives me a 9 and a 5 here. This square now... in fact, let's do this row. That's got to be a 9. That rules out 9s, I can see, from a few little places down at the bottom. 5 is ruled out of this cell. I'm going really slowly. It's not... I'm doing that very deliberately. I do not want to make a mistake on this puzzle. If I can get the video out, this would be just fantastic. 1, 3, 5. This has got to be 1 or 5. This has got to be 1 or 5 as well. Oh, so this is a 3. I could have done that ages ago. Sorry. 5. This becomes a 1 or a 7. Surely 3s are done. No, they're not. That's really surprising, but I don't think they are done. This square has to be 5, 7 or 9. I've got a 1, 5 pair here. So this is not 5. That gives me a 7, 9 pair in this cage. So this is 5. That fixes the 5 and the 1 up there. That's a 7, 9 pair. So this should be a 1. That gives us a 3, 7 pair here. So those two squares have got to be 1 and 5. I'm so hopeful that something is telling me how to disambiguate that, but I can't see what it is. This 5 is fixing that this is not 5 anymore. This cage, maybe we can do something with this. It's not got a 3 in it. So it's not... It needs a 9 in it. We said that before. So it's 9, 1, 7. So this is 1, 7 or 9. Which gives us a 1, 7, 9 triple, which makes this square have to equal 5, which means that 5 and that 1 go into the grid. That gives us a 3, 7 pair in the column. This should be 9. This should be 7. I can see it's going to disambiguate if this is right. Oh my goodness. 9, 7, 9. Please keep going now. This 5 can come out of these two squares. This 7 fixes the 3 here. That fixes the 7, the 7, the 3, the 1, the 1, the 7, the 3, and the 9. And the 9 and the 7. And I think I've solved it. Yes, that is really, really satisfying. Oh, what a brilliant puzzle as well. Loved it. Don't know how many times I said Norinori. Maybe someone can do a counter. I would guess it's probably getting on for 1,000. But just, I feel like I've done about 8 different puzzles. I had to do Norinori, parity, killer Sudoku, Sudoku. But loved it. Absolutely loved it. Thank you so much for watching if you stayed with it for all this time. I hope it wasn't disappointing. Do let me know in the comments. I do read them. Especially appreciate them if they're nice. Thanks for watching. Back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.